They will test you, not once, not twice, but endlessly, circling like vultures to see if you bleed when cut. The world doesn't admire kindness. It preys on it. You've already seen it. The smile that hides contempt, the handshake that conceals envy, the friend who whispers doubt behind your back. Every man alive is measuring you, weighing whether you can be bent, broken, or erased. And here is the truth no one dares say aloud. If you tolerate disrespect twice, you announce your own death sentence in the hierarchy of power. Weakness isn't forgiven, it's harvested. Respect isn't requested, it's extracted. And every second you let it slide, you surrender ground that will never be returned. You must learn this now. Power does not dwell in morality. It dwells in perception. The moment they believe you can be disrespected without consequence, you are finished. But if you learn the laws, Machiavelli's laws, you become untouchable, cold, respected, feared. Every room you enter bends around you. So listen closely. This is not philosophy. This is survival. Comment below. I refuse to bow twice and carry that phrase like a blade. First law. Respect is non-negotiable. Respect is the oxygen of power, and you suffocate without it. You think people will respect you for your kindness, your patience, your good deeds. That's a lie, told to keep men weak. In reality, respect is born from consequence. The instant someone disrespects you and you let it pass, you've just given permission to the entire world to treat you the same way. One tolerance becomes two. Two becomes habit. Habit becomes your downfall. Never forget, when someone disrespects you, they are probing for weakness. They want to know if your walls are stone or paper. If you fail that test, your value plummets. Friends will laugh behind your back. Enemies will sharpen their knives. Even your allies will question if you can defend yourself. Respect is non-negotiable because without it, every other law of power collapses. You can be wealthy, strong, intelligent, but if no one respects you, you are prey. The Machiavellian truth is this: mercy should be shown once, never twice. When you are disrespected, strike back calmly, strategically, decisively. Make it costly for them, so costly they never dare again. This is not about revenge. It's about survival. The Romans crushed rebellion with overwhelming force, not because they hated their enemies, but because they understood psychology. Fear creates order, punishment cements respect. Learn from them. You don't need to scream. You don't need to rage. You simply let your actions demonstrate that disrespect has a price tag they cannot afford. And once that truth is known, it spreads. People begin to carry your name with weight. They measure their words in your presence. They step carefully because they know you are not a man who allows insult to bloom twice. This is the first law, and without it, you will be nothing. Write this in your mind. Respect is either demanded or destroyed. Now comment below, I am the price of disrespect, and let them know you've drawn the line in blood. Second law, the mask of intent. Power is never what it seems. The strongest men in history understood this. You never reveal your true hand. You wear a mask, and behind it you plan in silence. Why? Because men fear what they cannot predict. If you let them see your intentions, they will prepare defenses, block your path, weaken your strike. But when you wear the mask of friendliness, of harmlessness, of loyalty, they underestimate you. And underestimation is the sharpest weapon in your arsenal. Machiavelli himself wrote that it is better to appear merciful, faithful, humane, even while being the opposite when necessary. That is the art of survival. You must learn to shapeshift socially too. Let others believe you are simple, while in truth every move is calculated. Never be naive. People are watching, analyzing, judging. Give them a mask that disarms suspicion. Smile when you're plotting. Nod when you're dissecting their weaknesses. The serpent does not hiss before it strikes. It lies. still unseen until the bite is already in flesh. This is the philosophy of control. Keep your enemies blind, keep your rivals guessing, keep your allies believing they understand you while in reality they do not. When they think you are weak, you can maneuver freely. When they think you are predictable, you can strike from angles unseen. This mask of intent is not deceit for the sake of lies. It is deceit as armor, as weapon, as strategy. Those who expose themselves too early die early. Those who smile while holding daggers outlast empires. So you must decide. Will you be the man whose moves are read, or the man whose silence terrifies because no one can see the depth of his game? Comment below. I smile and they never see the blade. That is the second law. Master it and you master the art of becoming unreadable, untouchable, and unstoppable. Third law. Power is taken, never given. Understand this. No one will ever hand you power. Not your boss, not your government, not your family, not your so-called friends. Power is never granted. It is seized. Those who sit and wait for authority to be recognized will rot in obscurity, while sharper men carve their empires. Look at history. Kings were not chosen by charity. They were chosen by conquest. Empires were not inherited without struggle. They were cemented in blood. Machiavelli warned that men are selfish and grasping, and unless forced, they will never willingly relinquish advantage. If you think respect, influence, or control will fall into your lap, you have already lost. You must take it. You must demand it, not with whining words, but with decisive action. The man who moves boldly terrifies the man who hesitates. The man who speaks with certainty commands those who doubt. The man who claims space owns it because the timid will always retreat. Cold psychology teaches this. People naturally submit to forceful will, not because they want to, but because their minds are wired to follow strength. You don't ask to lead. You lead and they follow. That is the law. Weak men dream of opportunities. Powerful men manufacture them. Weak men hope for approval. Powerful men act until approval is irrelevant. You must embody the mentality that every ounce of control you desire will come only through your ability to seize it, guard it, and wield it without apology. And when others cry unfair, you smile because you know fairness is a tool used to pacify the powerless. If you want to be untouchable, you cannot wait. You must take. Comment below. I seize what is mine. And let that phrase etch itself into your spine. Because until you embrace it, you will remain in chains forged by those who understood this law before you. Fourth law. Loyalty is conditional. Never mistake loyalty for permanence. Men swear allegiance with their lips, but their hearts are tethered to their interests. Today they stand beside you because your strength benefits them. Tomorrow they'll abandon you the moment your shadow no longer shields their ambition. This is why Machiavelli warned princes never to build on loyalty but on fear, necessity, and mutual gain. Understand this cold truth. Loyalty is not a virtue. It is a transaction. The friend who praises you now will sell you tomorrow if the price is high enough. The ally who swears undying devotion is already calculating what he gains by staying and what he gains by leaving. And the one who kneels before you today may stab you tomorrow if it secures his survival. This is not cynicism. It is realism. Men are fickle, and their loyalty bends like grass in the wind of our opportunity. But instead of despairing, you weaponize it. You don't demand blind loyalty. You control the conditions that make disloyalty too costly. You tie their survival, their wealth, their reputation to your continued strength. You keep them invested but never trusted. And most importantly, you never reveal your entire hand. Give no man enough power to destroy you, no ally enough information to betray you fully. Treat loyalty as a tool, not a truth. Smile at their oaths, but guard your position with steel. If they remain faithful, good. If they turn, you are already prepared. This is the Machiavellian stance. Expect betrayal. Prepare for it, and you will never be surprised. A man who expects loyalty is crushed by treachery. A man who expects treachery commands respect because he cannot be caught unready. Remember, loyalty is not love. It is leverage. When you grasp this, you no longer cling to false promises. You control reality. Comment below. My trust is earned, never owed. Let that sentence echo inside you, because once you live by it, betrayal loses its sting and loyalty becomes just another blade in your arsenal. Fifth law, fear outlasts love. Love is fragile. Fear is eternal. The man who rules by love rules only until the first disappointment. The moment you fail to meet expectations, love turns to resentment, and the very people who praised you will curse your name. Love is fickle. It changes with moods, with whispers, with the shifting winds of envy. But fear is anchored deep in the subconscious. It outlasts affection. It outlasts admiration. It even outlasts hatred. Machiavelli declared it bluntly. It is far safer to be feared than loved, because fear binds men when love fails. A man may love you today and betray you tomorrow, but if he fears you, betrayal carries a price too heavy to risk. You must understand this code psychology. Fear creates order. Fear creates obedience. Fear ensures survival. That does not mean you should be cruel without reason. Blind cruelty breeds rebellion. No, your fear must be calculated, surgical, controlled. You must show that to cross you is to suffer, that betrayal is punished. Swiftly and mercilessly, that disrespect is met with consequence. Then fear becomes respect's shadow, permanent, immovable. The loved leader is abandoned when storms come, but the feared leader is obeyed even when despised. Do not waste your life chasing affection. You are not here to be adored. You are here to be unshakable. Cold reality. They do not need to like you. They need to fear disappointing you. Think of lions. They do not ask to be loved by the herd. They simply command space, and the herd moves. Love pleases the heart. Fear secures the throne. And when the two collide, always choose the one that survives. Comment below. Fear keeps the crown, because when you understand that love fades but fear endures, you step into the realm of true authority, where your presence cannot be ignored and your absence cannot be taken advantage of. This is not charm. This is not popularity. This is survival written in the blood of empires. Sixth law, control the frame. Control the game. Yes, reality is not what it is. It is what people believe it is. The one who defines perception defines power. This is why weak men lose. They let others dictate the frame. And once the frame is set, the game is already over. Machiavelli understood that. Appearances outweigh truth because most men never look beyond the surface. If they believe you are strong, you are strong. If they believe you are doomed, you are already dead, even if you still draw breath. Power psychology is simple. He who controls the narrative controls the battlefield. You must learn to seize the frame in every encounter, every negotiation, every confrontation. Speak with certainty even when uncertain, and watch as others align themselves to your conviction. If you appear calm in chaos, they believe you hold the reins. If you appear untouchable in defeat, they believe you cannot be broken. Control their perception, and you control their actions. This is why rulers and tyrants mastered the art of spectacle. They understood that image dominates reality. A king in rags is still a king if he commands the belief of his people. But a rich man is nothing if the crowd sees him as weak. Your enemies will try to frame you as small, powerless, irrelevant. Never let them. You must seize the spotlight and bend it. Define yourself before they define you. Set the terms of every battle. Dictate the meaning of every insult. Spin every loss into strategy, every setback into preparation, every silence into strength. The truth matters, less than the perception of truth, because perception is what moves men. When you master the frame, you play the game on your terms and no one else's. Comment below, I control the frame. Etch it into your psyche, because once you accept this law, you will never again be trapped in someone else's story. You will be the author, the director, the king of perception, and by extension, the master of reality itself. Seventh law, exploit weakness, conceal yours. Every man carries cracks in his armor, and those cracks are where empires rise or fall. Weakness is the universal currency of control, the naive waste. Time appealing to strength, but the strategist studies weakness, probes it, applies pressure until the strongest. Giant buckles under invisible weight. Machiavelli warned that to rule men, you must understand their desires, their fears, their soft underbellies. Most revealed them carelessly, the boast that hides insecurity, the anger that hides fear, the ambition that hides desperation. And when you see it, you exploit it, not loudly, not recklessly, but like poison slipped into wine. Quiet, unseen, unstoppable. Weakness is leverage, and leverage bends even the proudest neck. But here lies the other half of the law. While you exploit theirs, you must guard yours as if your life depends on it, because it does. Never display your doubts. Never reveal your temptations. Never confess what keeps you awake at night. To expose weakness is to hand a loaded weapon to your enemy. The world is not merciful. It is opportunistic. The moment they glimpse your fracture, they will dig until you are shattered. That is why you must master concealment. Present yourself as unshakable stone, even when storms rage within. Discipline your words. Discipline your body language. Discipline your reactions. If you must bleed, bleed in silence where no one sees. If you must suffer, suffer without witnesses. Remember, strength is often an illusion, but so is weakness. Hide yours, and the illusion becomes reality. Exploit theirs, and you hold invisible chains around their throat. This is the predator's way, not to fight fair, but to fight smart. Not to strike strength against strength, but to cut into weakness until the opponent collapses, without even realizing why. Comment below, I hide my cracks. I break theirs. Burn that phrase into your mind, because until you embrace it, you are still prey. Master this law, and you will move like a shadow, untouchable, lethal, and feared by those who once thought you could be broken. Eighth law, power demands distance. Closeness kills authority. Familiarity is the silent assassin of respect. The more accessible you are, the more ordinary you become. And the ordinary is never feared, never revered. Power thrives on distance, on mystique, on the gap between you and the masses. Machiavelli observed that rulers who mingled too freely with their subjects lost reverence because men begin to measure you against themselves, and once they see you as equal, they no longer obey. You must resist the modern lie. That accessibility makes you stronger. It makes you weaker. When they can touch you too often, they take you for granted. When they know every detail of your life, they no longer project greatness onto you. Power is built not only by presence, but by controlled absence. When you are scarce, you become valued. When you are mysterious, you become feared. When you are hard to reach, every word you speak carries more weight. The great conquerors and kings understood this. Their image traveled farther than their bodies. Their silence carried louder than endless chatter. You must become the man whose presence is rare but commanding, whose absence is never forgotten. Keep people guessing. Keep them hungry. Keep them unsure of when you will appear. Do not be the man always available, always predictable, always open. Such men are used and discarded. Instead, create distance deliberately. Be seen when it matters most. Vanish when your presence is not required, and return when absence has inflated your value. This is why distance is not weakness, it is strategy. Even in personal life, keep parts of yourself locked away, unrevealed, untouchable. If you give all of yourself, you will be consumed and discarded. But if you withhold, they chase, they wonder, they respect. Remember, the flame burns brighter when starved of oxygen. So too does your aura when starved of overexposure. Comment below. I create distance, they create respect. Live by it, because once you master the law of distance, you are no longer a man among men. You are a figure above them, untouchable, unforgettable, and always commanding more than your presence alone. Ninth law. Silence is a weapon. Words expose you. Every sentence you speak is a blade you hand to others. Every confession a door you leave unlocked. The weak drown themselves in chatter, eager to explain, eager to justify, eager to be understood, and in doing so, they strip themselves bare. But silence terrifies, silence unsettles. Silence makes men question what you think, what you plan, what you know. Machiavelli understood that power often lies in what is unsaid, because men fill silence with their own fears, their own projections, their own doubts. When you speak less, your words weigh more. A single sentence delivered after long silence strikes harder than 100 explanations. Learn this. You do not owe the world your thoughts. You do not owe your enemies your feelings. You do not owe anyone your entire truth. The less they know, the less they can attack. Silence shields you while it exposes them. In negotiation, the one who speaks less always holds the upper hand because the other reveals too much trying to fill the void. In conflict, silence unnerves more than shouting, because a quiet man is unreadable, and unreadable men are dangerous. Even in victory, silence amplifies power. You do not need to boast, because your success speaks louder than words. And in defeat, silence preserves dignity, leaving your enemies unsure if you are wounded or simply waiting. Silence is not emptiness. It is a weapon, a wall, a cloak. But here is the paradox. Silence must be chosen, not forced. A man who cannot speak is weak, but a man who chooses not to speak is feared. That is the difference between impotence and control. Learn to master the pause. Learn to let others drown in their own noise while you stand unmoved. The more you practice silence, the sharper it becomes, until even your stillness becomes unbearable for those who face you. Comment below. My silence speaks louder than their words. Etch that into your mind, because once you wield silence with intent, you no longer fight with noise. You dominate with absence, and nothing terrifies the human mind more than the void it cannot interpret. 10th law. Adapt like a serpent. Rigidity is the death of power. The man who refuses to bend is the man who snaps when the storm comes. The man who clings to one identity, one strategy, one mask, is the man who will be exposed, cornered, and crushed. But the man who adapts, who shifts like a serpent, who flows like water, who transforms without hesitation, is the man who outlasts everyone. Machiavelli admired the fox and the lion. The fox to recognize traps, the lion to crush enemies. But he understood that to survive, you must become both, switching between cunning and force as the situation demands. That is adaptation. You must be comfortable, wearing new skins, adjusting your posture, recalibrating your methods. The serpent does not mourn the skin it sheds. It discards it to live, and so must you. Never tie your survival to one role, one strategy, one reputation. The world changes, power shifts, men evolve, or they are devoured. If you cling to what you were yesterday, you will not survive tomorrow. You must be unrecognizable when necessary. You must be the friend when needed, the predator when required, the ghost when hunted, the king when opportunity appears. This is not weakness. It is evolution. Weak men fear change because it strips them of comfort. Powerful men embrace change because it strips them of limits. Cold. Psychology teaches that identity is fluid. Most people resist this truth, but the rare few who master it dominate, because no one can predict them. Predictability is a death sentence in the game of power. If they know your moves, they will corner you. But if you are a serpent, shifting, sliding, adapting, you become untouchable. They may plan for one version of you only to find another waiting. They may think they understand your patterns only to realize you have none. This terrifies them. The unpredictable cannot be controlled. That is why adaptability is the core of survival. Think of empires. Those who refused to adapt to new weapons, new tactics, new enemies, perished. But those who evolved became immortal in history. The same is true for you. You must be ruthless in discarding what no longer serves you. A strategy that once worked but now weakens you must be abandoned. A persona that once gained respect but now breeds contempt must be shed. Adapt not once, but endlessly, because every enemy you face, every ally you caught, every rival you confront will change tactics against you. And if you remain fixed, you will fall. You must be fluid, flexible, calculating. But here is the hidden layer. Adaptation is not just survival. It is also deception. When you shift roles, you confuse, you mislead, you disarm. They expect the lion in you. Arrive as the fox. They prepare for the fox, and you strike as the lion. They believe they've cornered you only to find you've slipped into shadow untouchable. This creates fear because men cannot fight what they cannot pin down. To master adaptation is to master illusion. You appear weak when you are strong. You appear strong when you are calculating. You appear present when you are already gone. And through this, you win without struggle. But do not misunderstand. Adaptation is not chaos. It is controlled transformation, strategic flexibility. The serpent does not change shape out of panic. It changes out of precision. You must adapt, not emotionally, but logically. Never shift because you fear. Shift because it is the move that ensures survival, control, and dominance. The rigid will call you disloyal, two-faced, inconsistent. Let them. They cling to one form because they fear the void, but you will laugh because while they rot in predictability, you thrive in transformation. Comment below. I shed my skin. I sharpen my power. Let that be your mantra, because until you embrace this law, you are shackled to one form, and one form can always be destroyed. But once you adapt like a serpent, you are infinite. You are always becoming, always elusive, always one step ahead, and no blade forged by man can cut what it cannot hold. 11th law, legacy of the untouchable. In the end, power is not measured in moments. It is measured in the echoes you leave behind. Men come and go, kings rise and fall, but the untouchable carve their names into eternity. To become untouchable, you must master not only the moment, but the memory. You must engineer a legacy that cannot be erased, feared even in your absence, respected even by those who despised you, remembered even by those who wished to forget. Machiavelli knew that men die twice, the first when the body fails, the second when their name fades from lips. Your mission is to deny that second death. And how do you achieve it? Not through kindness, not through passive virtue, but through imprints of strength so deep they cannot be scrubbed away. The untouchable live in such a way that their presence becomes myth, their words become scripture, their decisions become stories retold to generations. This is not about immortality of flesh. It is immortality of perception. You must decide now. Will you be the man remembered for compromise or the man remembered for consequence? The choice is yours. To create a legacy of the untouchable, you must master 3 truths. First, ruthlessness is not cruelty. It is clarity. You will be forced to make decisions that others fear, to sacrifice what others cling to do what others call impossible. And when you do, they will curse you in the moment, but respect you in history. The ruler who preserved his kingdom by bloodshed is condemned by poets but honored by survivors. Second, greatness is not in survival alone, but in the image you craft. You must deliberately shape how you are seen, how you are spoken of, how you are remembered. Do not live carelessly, live theatrically. Every move should reinforce your myth. If you are feared, let the fear multiply. If you are respected, let the respect deepen. Never leave your reputation to chance. Design it, direct it, dominate it. And third, you must separate yourself from the masses. Ordinary men vanish into dust because they lived ordinary lives. The untouchables stand apart because they refused ordinariness. They were colder, sharper, more decisive than their peers. They were willing to be hated in the moment, to be eternal in memory. Understand this. People do not remember the agreeable. They remember the uncompromising. They do not honor those who blended in. They honor those who tore themselves out of the herd and ruled above it. Your task is not to be loved. It is to be unforgettable. And to achieve that, you must wield all the laws you've learned here as one. Demand respect without compromise. Hide your true intent behind masks. Seize power instead of waiting for it. Bind loyalty with leverage, not trust. Rule with fear when love fails. Control the frame so reality bends to your will. Exploit weakness while concealing your own. Keep distance to maintain mystique. Use silence as your blade. Adapt endlessly, like the serpent. And finally, cement all of it into a legacy that cannot be ignored. Do this and you will outlive yourself. Your enemies will die with your name still burning their lips. Your allies will repeat your principles to protect their own survival. And those who never met you will feel your shadow, pressing over them long after your body is gone. That is what it means to be untouchable. Not merely to survive, not merely to dominate, but to transcend, to become a myth in the minds of men, to be feared when absent, respected when silent, remembered when gone. This is the final law, the culmination of every cold truth before it, the legacy of the untouchable. So I ask you now, will you vanish as another forgotten face? Or will you carve yourself into history with steel? The choice is not tomorrow. The choice is now. Comment below. My legacy is untouchable because once you claim it, once you breathe it, once you live it, you step beyond mortality itself. And if you have followed me through all 11 laws, then you are no longer just another man. You are a force, a shadow, a presence that can neither be dismissed nor destroyed. Remember this and live by it. And before you leave, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because the path to becoming untouchable has only just begun. And those who walk it never walk alone.